Hi, my name is Lilia and I just turned 30, so I decided to create this space where I can talk about what I learned in the last 10 years in my 20s and maybe offer some advice or maybe change your perspective a little bit on how you see life. I hope it helps. And today I want to talk about life's journey, not as deep as it sounds, a little bit more career path and how it's not linear for absolutely anyone. There's always zigzags that come up during the years, during your time. You never know what's going to happen. So I want to talk about how you should not be afraid to take this diversions or be afraid of changing your life or your career path. First of all, I think it's crazy that we have to decide what you're going to do the rest of your life when you're that young, 18, 20, 21. No one should decide that young because we don't even know who we are. We don't even know anything about ourselves. How are we going to decide what we're going to do? Yes, there's a small percentage of people that practically since they're little born, they're completely sure what they want to do and they follow that and that's all their life goals and that's awesome, but that's not most of us. I did my bachelor's in media communications thinking that I knew what I wanted. I mean, I accidentally stumbled into that major, to be honest, but I went in it and said, I'm going to try everything out. So that way, by the time I graduate, I'm going to be completely sure of what I'm going to do. And I did. I did journalism. I did TV. I did events. I wrote for a magazine. Like, I tried everything. I did marketing. Social media wasn't as big back in 2008, but I still tried out everything. When I graduated, I was completely sure what I wanted to do. I was going to do live events and I was going to work in production for the rest of my life. And years went by. I tried some jobs. Of course, you're not going to get your dream job right out of college. Most of us don't. I didn't. And then years went by. I opened a marketing agency because I was good at it. Social media was booming and everything was working. But then I was like, not what I want to do the rest of my life. I don't love it. I'm not in love with it. So I left the city I lived in, decided to change career paths again. I was teaching, which is something I still want to do in the future. So I started teaching at a university, but I was also managing real estate. So I was a little bit lost in what I wanted to do. I was still doing a little bit of marketing on the side because at the end of the day, it was what was paying the bills. So that always helps. But then I decided to do my master's and I came to Full Sail University here in Florida to do entertainment business and kind of went back to my roots of doing events. This was when I was 28, so that took me 6-7 years to go back to maybe doing events. And even through my master's, I changed my mind like 8 times. Like, maybe I'll do music business. Oh, maybe I'll do TV again. I even worked at NXT and I was like, I like TV. Like, I changed my mind in that year like 8 times. Graduated, I was like, okay, I'm sure I want to do live events, production, concerts, festivals. That's what I love. And then, well, we all know it's 2020. That had to change again because there's no concerts, no festivals, and I focused my life into music business. I'm telling you all my life story just so you know what has been going on and why I came to this conclusion that every life and every path is going to be completely different. And even though you think it's linear, it's going to change so many times, you have no idea. Like, it'll sig and then it will sag and you think it's going to sig again, but it'll sag again and it's just a whole mess. But it's okay because every time you start over, you're never really starting over. You're starting at a point, you're changing, you're diverting, but you're starting at a point with all of the extra knowledge that you already got. By the time I finished my marketing agency, well, I still have all that knowledge. Now, with all the sigging and sagging that I did during my years, now when I look for a job, I have all these extra stuff that I can say that I've done and that I know. You're never starting over, even if you change careers completely, because yes, everything I've done is inside media communications, inside that little area. But even if you, like, I don't know, if I've gone the medical way, I decided to be a doctor, all the other knowledge, it's not like it goes to waste. You can still use it. You still broaden your ideas and it still helps you. So never think that you're starting over. You're just changing your path. You're just moving towards another direction. So that's why I say, like, no path is linear. There's always going to be zigs and zags that come in your life, because that's what happens. You can't control absolutely everything. Not even your mind. It's okay to change your mind. There's nothing wrong with it too. Just because you declared a major and maybe for 3-5 years you did your career and you focused on something, and then 10 years down the line you decided to change your mind, it's okay. You have no idea how many people I know that in their 40s, 50s decided to change careers. They did another bachelor's. I want to do another bachelor's when I grow up. Like I say, like I'm not already 30. But I want to do another bachelor's when I'm 40, when I'm 50. So it's okay to change your mind. You don't have to stick to what you chose just because you chose it at some point. You can change. You can change your mind. And that brings me to another point that I think is super important about your path. Never compare yourself to anyone else. Your path, your career is not a race. We live in a world where we think that by 30, I should be married, I should have kids, I should have a house. Yes, my parents had a house and kids by 26, but I don't have to. Your friend might have to. I have so many friends that are married and with kids and happy with it. Paths are not meant to be exactly the same. We all move at our pace. We all find our passions at a different time. You might find it when you're 30. You might find it when you're 45. I'm not even sure I've completely found mine yet. You never know when you're gonna find your passion. And like I said again, it can change. Maybe you did find it at 25, but then you grew up and 10 years later, that passion changed. It's okay, but don't compare with anyone else. It is not a race. You don't have to have a house by 30. You don't have to have your dream job by 30 or 40 or 50. We always see, there's so many this big name celebrities that they didn't become famous maybe until they were 45, until they were 50. So it's not a race. Take your time and do it the way you want to do it instead of feeling pressured. I know it's super hard because we live in social media era and we see all these pictures and perfect lives everywhere, and that's a whole other subject, but do not pressure yourself. You take your time. If you're 26 and you still have no idea and you're still working a job that it's okay but you're not completely in love with it, it's okay, but keep looking. Don't settle. It's not the same thing to not be in a race than settling. If you're not happy and you haven't found your passion and you still haven't found that wow thing that you want to do, keep going. Keep looking for it. Don't stop. You can have a job. You can have a job you really like. You can still be applying to other jobs. You can still be looking for that passion or looking for something else. So basically what I want to say is your career path, your life choices, it is not a straight line. It can zig and sag, it can curve as many times. You might even feel like it's not going straight all the time. That's also good. Maybe you need to take a few steps back and then keep going forward. It could be a loop. It's not a linear line. And then it is never, ever going to be the same path as someone else. It is always going to be completely different. You write your own story. You write your own book. You have to follow your own path. Thank you for listening, and I hope this helps and gives you a little perspective, a little cheering up in your life. Hey, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I would love to also know your opinion, so leave a comment about what you think. Even if you disagree, I would love to hear from you. So hope you have a great rest of your day and stay strong.